Welcome to our Squid Game Season 1 recap. With Season 2 just around the corner, let's revisit the shocking twists and intense moments that made the first season unforgettable. Get ready, because the game is about to take a darker turn. Squid Game begins with Song Gi-hun, also referred to as Sun, a deeply flawed man struggling with addiction, debt, and broken family relationships. Gi-hun is a compulsive gambler who lives with his elderly mother and remains estranged from his ex-wife and young daughter. His daughter is on the verge of moving to the United States with Gi-hun's ex-wife and her new husband, deepening the emotional chasm between them. Gi-hun is buried under insurmountable debts owed to ruthless loan sharks and other dangerous people, leaving him desperate for a way out. His life takes a dramatic turn when a mysterious man approaches him at a train station, offering him the chance to earn money by playing a simple game. The game involves flipping tiles, and Gi-hun reluctantly agrees, quickly finding himself bested. With each loss, he endures humiliating slaps as punishment. However, when he finally wins a round, he earns a small sum of money. The man then hands him a business card, inviting him to participate in a series of games with exponentially higher stakes. Intrigued and enticed by the promise of financial freedom, Gi-hun accepts the offer. Soon after, he is picked up by a vehicle, only to be gassed unconscious. When he awakens, he finds himself in a large dormitory filled with 455 other participants, all dressed in green tracksuits with numbers on them. Gi-hun is player 456, the final entrant in the games. The environment is controlled by masked staff dressed in pink jumpsuits. Their masks display symbols indicating their ranks: circles for workers, triangles for enforcers, and squares for managers. Above them all looms the front man, a mysterious figure who oversees the entire operation. The players quickly realize they are in a deadly competition when they are introduced to the first game: red light, green light. A gigantic robotic doll monitors their movements, and anyone caught moving after the light turns red is ruthlessly gunned down. Chaos erupts as players panic and attempt to flee, only to be eliminated. The survivors press on, and with the help of new allies like player 199, Ali Abdul, Gi-hun barely makes it through. Back in the dormitory, the players demand an explanation and call for their release. The game organizers reveal that the players can vote to terminate the games. After a vote, the majority narrowly chooses to end the competition. The players are sent back to their regular lives, but their harsh realities soon drive many of them to return voluntarily. The allure of the prize money, an astronomical 45.6 billion won, outweighs the life-threatening risks. Gi-hun returns, motivated by his mother's urgent need for medical care. Other participants, like Cho Sang-woo, Gi-hun's childhood friend and a disgraced financial broker, and Kang Se-byuk, a North Korean defector hoping to reunite her family, also rejoin the games. Their reasons vary, but desperation unites them. Meanwhile, Detective Hwang Junho becomes involved after overhearing Gi-hun's report to the police. Junho's interest is piqued because his brother Hwang In-ho disappeared under mysterious circumstances and received a similar invitation card. Determined to uncover the truth, Junho infiltrates the games by disguising himself as one of the workers. His investigation unfolds in parallel with the players' trials, adding a layer of intrigue. The second game challenges players with honeycomb-shaped sugar candy, or dalgona. Each player must carefully carve a specific shape out of the brittle candy without breaking it. Gi-hun, assigned the most challenging shape, an umbrella, cleverly licks the candy to dissolve it from the back, successfully completing the task. During this round, tensions rise as one player grabs a guard's weapon, forcing him to reveal his face. The guard is subsequently executed for removing his mask, underscoring the game's brutal enforcement of rules. The stakes become clearer. These games are a life-or-death struggle, and the masked enforcers will not tolerate any breach of protocol. Back in the dormitory, hostility escalates among players. The organizers deliberately create an environment where violence is incentivized. When one player murders another, the prize money increases, revealing that death, whether by games or internal conflict, contributes to the jackpot. The players are no longer just competing in structured games. They are now in a survival arena where alliances and betrayals play pivotal roles. The third game, Tug of War, pits teams against one another on a high platform. Gi-hun's team, initially disadvantaged due to its weaker members, uses a clever strategy suggested by player 001, Il-nam, an elderly man suffering from a brain tumor. Against all odds, their teamwork secures victory, proving that intellect and cooperation can sometimes trump brute strength. Meanwhile, Junho uncovers critical information while investigating the island. He discovers records indicating that his brother was a past winner of the games, deepening the mystery of the frontman's identity. Junho's attempts to gather evidence and contact the outside world are fraught with danger, as the surveillance system keeps him under constant threat of exposure. His journey highlights the oppressive control the game organizers exert over both players and workers. The fourth game is particularly heart-wrenching as it revolves around marbles. Players are instructed to pair up, assuming they will collaborate, only to discover they must compete against their partner, with the loser facing elimination. Gi-hun teams up with Il-nam, exploiting the old man's apparent dementia to secure a win. However, as the game nears its end, Il-nam reveals he was fully aware of Gi-hun's deceit, but chose to let him win. This revelation deeply unsettles Gi-hun, marking a pivotal moment where his moral compass begins to erode in the face of survival. The other players endure similarly devastating betrayals. Ali, the kind-hearted worker, is cruelly tricked by Sang-woo, losing his chance at survival. Meanwhile, Se-byuk watches helplessly as her ally is taken from her, reinforcing the brutal reality of the games. The arrival of the VIPs, wealthy elites who sponsor the games for their entertainment, adds a chilling dimension to the story. Their cold detachment and dehumanizing view of the participants underscore the series' searing critique of class disparity and the exploitation of the vulnerable. The fifth game, A Deadly Glass Bridge, pushes the remaining players to the brink. They must navigate a series of glass panels, some sturdy, and others designed to shatter under their weight. Those at the front face almost certain death as they test the panels, while players like Gi-hun, further back, benefit from their sacrifices. The stakes reach a fever pitch when the lights are turned off, thwarting a skilled player's ability to distinguish the tempered glass from the fragile ones. Chaos erupts, leaving only Gi-hun, Sang-woo, and Se-byuk as the final survivors. After the brutal elimination of most of the contestants, the remaining three, Gi-hun, Sang-woo, and Se-byuk, are escorted to a luxurious dining room. The lavish dinner contrasts sharply with their battered, exhausted states. As they eat, a tense silence fills the room, each person aware that they are in the final stages of the deadly competition, with only one of them leaving alive. Later, they are taken back to their dormitory, which is now stark and empty, intensifying the isolation they feel. Se-byuk, severely wounded from the previous game, is struggling to survive. Gi-hun notices her condition and tries to help, showing his compassionate nature even in these dire circumstances. However, Sang-woo, driven by his own desire to win, makes a cold decision. He kills Se-byuk, eliminating her from the competition and leaving only himself and Gi-hun as the final two. The next day, the two survivors are taken to the Squid Game arena for the final round, a high-stakes and physically demanding game. The competition is intense, pushing both players to their limits. What follows is not only a battle of physical strength, but also an emotional and moral conflict, as Gi-hun's empathy and sense of right and wrong clash with Sang-woo's ruthless drive to win at any cost. At one point, it seems like Sang-woo has the upper hand, but Gi-hun's empathy and unwillingness to kill in cold blood start to tip the balance. The situation reaches a breaking point when Gi-hun, in an act of mercy, spares Sang-woo's life, offering him the chance to give up the game. However, Sang-woo, overwhelmed by his guilt and the weight of his actions, chooses to end his own life instead, taking the decision out of Gi-hun's hands. With Sang-woo's death, Gi-hun becomes the sole survivor of the Squid Game. He is crowned the winner and is given a large cash prize, but the victory is hollow. He returns to the real world, but everything has changed. He finds it impossible to reconnect with his former life, and the haunting memories of the game continue to weigh heavily on him. In the final twist, Gi-hun learns that the man responsible for orchestrating the entire game, the front man, is a former police officer who had infiltrated the organization. In the last scenes, Gi-hun, now disillusioned with the system, decides to take action to stop the game from continuing, vowing to put an end to the horrific competition once and for all. Thanks for watching our Squid Game recap. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit that like button, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to our channel for more updates and exciting content. Season 2 is just around the corner. Stay tuned, and we'll see you in the next one.